what I had to do here was adjust some data points so that I could get a sweep that's on that magenta surface, but to be able to solidify that into a solid, I had to make some adjustments where, as we're looking at these data points, as they get overlaid, evidently the intersects weren't quite working, so I divided them into equal pieces, as we'll see in a moment here, so that the curvature would maintain, and then that would allow the stitching into a solid. And you see how these data points were able to sweep, but then there was 50 extra points on this blue airfoil compared to the green airfoil dots, and they were all up in the nose, so there was some extracting of that data and then moving around and working with the others. So then when I got a perpendicular line, that's what cleared that stuff up. All in all, this Pro 4 TurboCAD Mac is it's really working. This animation part is quite sweet, and the bog down does not happen that happens with my Pro 2 as far as slowing down the computer and the time that it takes to crank up because of the small video card that I'm running. And right here we see how that roughness comes in on the surfacing. How all those extra lines are there that are pretty much fuzzy at that trailing edge, because I'm not so much after the actual propeller blade as it is trying to get sharp lines for establishing parting lines and shutoff lines for actual mold construction. So there would have to be a little bit of a flat spot at the trailing edge and then at the center leading edge to establish what those lines are as being the parting lines, and then we have to intersect and do some offsetting a little later on. But first of all, I needed the product, so I took my solid blade and then I extruded my blade hub and then drilled the hole for the propeller shaft, and then I removed that center that we see a little bit of yellow showing through the center because I wanted to get a good intersection. And right there, now I'm going to cut away that part of the circle so that I have that as a intersect and terminate position to establish my fillet radius. And that's where I've been running into some problems right there with that fillet showing up. So I tried a couple, 3 different ways of going about it. The I don't know if it's a program or the way I'm running it. It's probably the way I'm running it, that it just didn't want to allow for a fillet to happen at that intersection. Here we'll zoom up on the 5 actual blades. Now from there is where the filleting comes in. So I tried a 20 thousandths. There's my intersect line right there. I simplified that, and then redrew that as a sweeping path. And I swept the radius arc along those paths to see how that would generate. But when I came in contact with the actual parts, it did not intersect with either of them, whether it was the hub or the actual blade. And now I'm going to just give it a spin about here for taking a look at how the radius, there's a twist that happens as it goes around the polar locations on the height. Of course, part of that is the viewing angle too. It's got a nice shape to it. It's a matter of getting my start and stop points. I think I need to extend those out and curve those under, because at the terminations, the types of blends, I'm thinking of the CNC as far as the largest cutter available to cut that actual fillet as it intersects into that corner. But then I gotta think backwards also, because it would be being cut on a mold cavity or core, so that it's easy for the CNC to do its work, but it's a little bit difficult for me to actually draw it out and convey exactly what I'm trying to get to as far as a perfect blend. Now there's some settings that I have not gone through as far as playing with whether I want Fong or Gerard shadings, those kind of items I haven't gotten into yet, and that may change everything just by itself. But that's a general take a look. Now here in a moment I'm going to try to hit the fillets, and you see how they just don't take. There's no answer taken, and I believe that was a 1/8 inch. No, that's yes, a 1/8 inch fillet. To try to get a very large fillet may have been too large for that kind of a radius corner. Anyway, I got no answer.